So
welcome to episode 29 of Peace Talk. This is the Peace Dealer, and this is a series where I profile very gifted spiritualists and YouTube personalities and just people in general who are very authentic. And this episode, we have the graceful Shannon Terry. How are you doing, Shannon? Thank you so much for joining me. Where are you at currently?
right now I'm in Northern California in Sacramento.
Sacramento. I'm in Texas right now. It was raining earlier, 100 degrees, 60 raining. Oh,
I can't hear
how
you.
saw the weather 100 degrees earlier.
And then it was raining?
And yeah, it's just so bipolar right now.
That's crazy.
How are you faring energy personally?
I can't hear anything. It's cutting in and out, so I can't. I'm barely getting like little pieces of what you're saying.
I apologize. Get through this feedback. How are you personally feeling this energy right now?
How am I personally feeling with this energy right now?
Yeah.
Well, I'm kind of unique because I noticed with my own personal patterns that I tend to thrive during difficult energetic patterns, like in different energetic times, depending on like what's going on with the planetary alignments. When usually it's a difficult time for everyone else, I'm having like the best time and I'm doing great. And then when everything starts to line up and it's supposed to be like great energetically, then I'm like going through it and kind of having a difficult time. So it's kind of funny. I laugh about that. But right now, I'm feeling really good. I've been feeling empowered and just, doing really well with it. So the last couple of days has been a little bit interesting. I've noticed a lot of people around me kind of going through it, but as far as me personally, I've been doing pretty well with it.
Yeah, this Gemini energy is no joke. I definitely leading into Cancer too. It's going to be quite emotional, and I wouldn't even say because of the Cancer energy itself too. But for those that don't know, what are your sun and moon and rising signs?
Okay, so I am an Aquarius sun with Gemini rising and a Virgo moon.
Oh, sweet. Gemini club. That's awesome. I'm also a Gemini myself.
Yeah.
I remember I saw a meme on your Instagram that was saying that you're weird, but you're real. And I feel like that's the perfect embodiment of that Aquarius Virgo energy. It's very unique and still very like perfect and practical almost. How do you feel? How does your Virgo moon affect having an Aquarius sun?
Okay, so for me, it actually works really well though, because like having that Aquarius vibe, I'm very like up in the air and all over the place, and I have so many thoughts and ideas. So like having the Virgo moon and having that like grounding energy helps a lot to like balance it. And I noticed that I do have a lot of these Virgo tendencies where I want to do everything in a certain way, like the way I take my pillows off my bed every night, I have to do it the same. And if somebody comes and does it different, I'm like, no, that's not how I do it. I have to do it like this, like almost obsessive compulsive, and a lot of perfectionism going on. So as long as I have my routines down, like I get up, I make my tea, I do this, I do everything the same way every day, and I want everything in its place, and that makes me feel okay, you know? And that also helps to kind of balance out my whole like Chris up in the air, take you to heaven type vibes that I have going on. So I think it actually works pretty well to have those two together in my chart. I don't know what I would do. I have a lot of air, you know, with the Gemini and Aquarius. That's a lot of air going on. So if I didn't have the Virgo, I don't know. I'd probably be a mess.
That's very refreshing to hear. Definitely. Like I also have like an Earth. So it definitely, I definitely feel on the ground. Oh, it sounds like there's some echo.
Yeah, it's a little bit shifty on my end. Like it goes. I was hearing you really well, and then just now it was kind of cutting out a little bit too. So hopefully it can.
It must be this weather. It's so windy right now, like out of nowhere.
Okay. Wow, you guys are crazy weather.
Right? How do you personally feel about, because you're actually the second Aquarius I've ever interviewed in this series so far. Very honored. How do you feel you represent this new age? I personally think it's amazing to be an Aquarius at this like period.
I have always felt the same way, like, but you know, I guess I'm kind of biased. Like, I really love being Aquarius. I favor the Aquarius sign, and I love meeting other Aquarius. They're always so interesting, and they're always doing something big. You know, like Jason Silva. I don't know if you're familiar with Jason Silva. He is he makes videos on YouTube called Shots of Awe. So if you've never checked out his YouTube channel, you should check it out. He's amazing. He's got the whole Aquarius mind, where he's just rattling off like all these innovative thoughts and ideas all the time and inspiring people like that. So like for me, I love that. I love that about Aquarius. You know, I love that we are just here to be out there on the leading edge, like inspiring people and living our passion and waking people up. So yeah, I think that's like super cool about the Aquarius sign.
I totally agree. I really feel a strong sense of inspiration from the Aquarius vibe. Being a Gemini myself, like my thoughts could be all over the place, and then you people just know how to like direct them the right way, and like have your mind so fixed on an idea that you see it through. It's very inspiring. I really have hope in this age just because of that. So that's really awesome. I like how you said that they're always doing something big. That's so true. Like living up true to their sign. They really do reflect that there's a mission that has to be had. My North Node is actually in Aquarius, which is interesting too. So I really vibe with that. How about you? Where's your North Node?
Oh, you know, I don't know off the top of my head. I don't have like my whole chart completely memorized. I just know like my sun, moon, and rising, because I'm actually I'm not like an expert in astrology. It's something I'm definitely passionate about and into, but my expertise is actually in energy healing. So that's where I focus, and that's where I kind of spend most of my time making my videos and seeing clients in my practice and stuff like that. But one thing that I will say about like me as an Aquarius, I noticed that I can be a little bit tough on people in the sense that I have no tolerance for people who have no passion and purpose. Like passion and purpose come to my mind, because it's like I only want to be around people who have a passion and a purpose and who are doing things in their life. And being an air sign in general, and especially Aquarius, like having great, meaningful conversation is so important. And so it's like I want to spend my time with, or the people that I'm interested in, or the people that I allow into my life are people who intellectual conversation about big major topics in life, and people that have a passion and a purpose within their own life. If they don't have that, I'm like, I don't have time for you. So yeah, I'm a little bit tough when it comes to that kind of stuff.
very reasonable too. If anything, it probably motivates people to develop that. But let's talk about your Reiki. In the description box below, I have a link to your online courses. I'm not gonna lie, I've been skeptical about Reiki for a while, but I've really been opening up more to it. Like it's definitely real, and it's fascinating to me how this is an actual area that's true. What got you into this? How did you start this part of your journey?
Okay, so I believe I was gifted with Reiki. Like I was attuned by a master. It happened back in 2008.
Yeah.
Okay, because something happened to the screen and you disappeared. So I just want to make sure we're still going.
Still that.
So there is a spiritual teacher. His name is Dr. Pillai, and he has his own YouTube channel. He does a lot of really cool stuff. He's more into like the Hindu type spirituality. And so I was studying under him mantra meditation. He's very big on mantra meditation. And we did this one meditation during a certain period of time where there was like this cosmic doorway opening up, and it was like an energetic gateway opening up, and we all tapped into that energy collectively. And ever since that moment when I did that, I like just started feeling energy on the most intense level that you could ever imagine. It almost started to scare me a little bit because I was like, whoa, what is going on? Like it just like turned on within me all of a sudden. My hands started, getting like warm, tingly. I could really feel it. And so I wasn't exactly sure like what was happening to me. I mean, I knew that something happened, and so I started to seek, and I was Googling online, kind of like, checking and focusing mainly on the hands. Like, why do I feel this energy in my hands? And then, so that's when I found Reiki, because Dr. Pillai, he's into like mantra meditation and stuff like that, but he doesn't do Reiki or any type of energy healing type stuff. So I found information online about Reiki, and I was like, yes, this is exactly what's happening to me right now. This is what it feels like. So I found a Reiki master. I reached out to somebody, and then I told them about my experience. And so they were like, yeah, you've been gifted from the higher realms. Like the lineage kind of still exists, like in the higher dimensions. The people who have gone before us that have been attuned and practiced, that are like, crossed over. For whatever reason, I was kind of given this gift, and maybe it was always meant to happen, it's part of my destiny or whatever, but it was awakened within me when I tapped into that energy. And so then I started studying Reiki through actual Reiki master, because I wanted to learn like everything from the bottom up. And I just went from there. I got attuned, even though I could already feel it within me. I decided to go through all the attunements. I went to level 1, 2, and master, and then even grandmaster. And that's how I began my practice. And then so I discovered that I really had a passion for teaching, and I wanted to share this with everyone that I met, and practice online, because I feel like I can kind of reach a larger audience that way. And that's where I have my online courses, and I have my own online practice where I see clients distance style. So it's actually really cool, because a lot of really cool people find me. I just kind of set the intention that the perfect people will find me. And it's funny how it happens. Like people contact me and they're like, I've been wanting to be attuned, get my Reiki master certification. And it's just weird how I found you. And everybody has this little story. So I don't know, the universe just kind of brings me the perfect people into my life who are ready to find this beautiful gift and take this journey. And then we go through it together. And it's so amazing. I really love it.
That really is so amazing. I mean, just speaking on like feeling the tingling in your hands, like that's a real it sounded as almost as if you didn't know energy could course through you like that, which is how I would feel personally too. Like I've been at that stage where I'm wanting to get to the next level, and hearing you say this only inspires me to know it's definitely possible. How do you talk to people who aren't necessarily so open to Reiki or knowledgeable about it, or who are still skeptical?
Well, okay, so for the people who are skeptical, I always, well, for to learn Reiki or wants to start practicing, one of the things that I'm very big on is you have to just begin to practice. Like, you have to start playing around with it. It's Reiki is a journey that you take. You know, Reiki is seeking you and you're seeking it, and eventually when you meet up, it will happen. And so when you start taking that journey, it kind of gradually starts to unfold. But the more you practice, the stronger it gets, and it will show you the way, you know. So I'm very big on, I really don't like to tell my students exactly how to do one thing. I will give them the information and the knowledge that they need, and then tell them, you use this as you're guided, because Reiki is going to show you the way, you know. So it's very interesting. Like, the people who are skeptical, I'm like, okay, just try it. When you start to try it and you begin a consistent practice, you will see that the energy is there, it's real, and it builds in intensity the more you use it and the more consistent you are, you know. And so if they actually will take that chance and start trying it, then they see for themselves, and then there's no more question in their mind. They just know because they're experiencing it. You know, it's an experience. It's like, you can tell somebody how something tastes all day long, but until they actually taste it, they're not going to know. So it's the same kind of thing.
I totally resonate. So there's a element of discipline that's definitely involved. I once got into Reiki, but I never really continued it, and I can vouch for the limited time that I was invested in it. I did like notice results, even with meditation. I haven't necessarily been meditating as much as I should be, but it's just a whole nother world there that it's hard to deny simple effects that really come across from it. But honestly, like I really feel, I feel spirit like pulling on my heart right now. Like, as far as the concept of Reiki, you're really changing the world right now. This is a really unorthodox method of healing that works, that a large amount of people still aren't necessarily enlightened to it. I really like how you say it's a journey. And I'm honored. I'm sure it's awesome that you're able to really help so many people in this way, and guide people to you know, such a new age way. I mean, I don't want to call it new age, because I'm sure it's something that's always existed in a certain sense, but I really like how you mentioned that it finds you as well. I totally resonate with that. Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, when you're ready, it will appear. And like you said, you've been kind of feeling the pull. And so, you know, this is your time. This is probably going to line up on your path at some point, if you're already kind of feeling that. So yeah, actually, you know, and it's funny because, like, a lot of people don't know about Reiki, but there are a lot of people that know about Reiki, like more and more. You know, it's taking off, and it's almost, I mean, it's really just growing rapidly. So that's a great thing. There's a lot of documentaries on, you know, energy healing and our thoughts on our energy, how they can measure, you know, how a negative thought affects like your energetic field and the patterns that it makes, and all this information that's out there that you can find that shows that this stuff is real. You know, it's not just some hocus pocus mumbo jumbo type woo stuff. Like, it's really legit. And the other thing that I've been like first, and then I kind of gradually was turned on to and moved into sound healing, which is like my complete #1 passion right now. You probably saw my videos on my Instagram where I'm playing like my singing bowl and using my tuning fork. But the human biofield, or our energetic field, is affected by sound and vibration and can be tuned. And so it's really cool and really interesting when you start to learn about that and play with it, and you feel a difference, you know, and you can send energy to other people. So awesome. I love it. It's my passion.
I could definitely vouch when I do see a few of the videos, like I feel calm instantly, you know, like no matter, and of course as a Gemini, my mind could be like everywhere, but then just hearing that vibration just kind of centers me. And you said something right now that blew my mind. I didn't know you could send sound long distance to people. I could totally understand that, but I didn't really think that was something that could happen. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's all vibration. It's all energy, you know, and energy is not bound by time or space. It's on the quantum field. So it goes in an instant. Let me grab a book really quick. I can show you guys. Let's see, where is it? Actually, I'll grab 2. Okay. So, tuning the human biofield. This is by Eileen McCusick, and this is a great book about, she's an energy and sound healer. It's a little bit about her personal journey into sound healing and how she got into it, and then she details different accounts that have happened throughout her practice, you know, with her clients and stuff like that as the proof. But then she also teaches in this book, you know, if you can see in this illustration right here, she teaches about like the chakra system and where different emotions are stored in your biofield. So if you had something traumatic happen to you, your father or mother, like the father will be on the right side of the body and the mother will be on the left side of the body. So let's just say somebody had something happen traumatic with their father as a child. They stored these intense emotions on the right side of their body in their biofield, and then it ends up causing like a hip problem later on in life, you know, because they're having like this leak in their aura and they're losing energy right there. Yeah, and so it's amazing, these little tuning forks can actually bring the energy back in and close off the leak and will heal. Like, you know, people who are having these chronic problems, nothing seems to help them. They start getting these energy attunements working with the tuning forks, and then they're cured. You know, it can happen instantly, or it could take a couple sessions, or it could be like an ongoing maintenance type thing. Everyone's different. But yeah, it's really cool. So you guys should definitely check that out if you're interested in learning. And then I can also tell you where to get some tuning forks too. So
that's awesome. I've definitely been more interested in the auric field more, as far as like people activating and being able to see and sense auras. I've been obsessed with that recently. So I think that would be a valuable resource.
Definitely.
I was going to ask you right now, where do you feel humanity is at currently, and where do you feel they're progressing spiritually, despite all the things happening in the world?
Well, you know, from what I've seen, one thing that I thought is really cool is like how the younger kids are really starting to catch on. I'm big on social media, so I'm on Instagram a lot. I think it's how you and I had found each other. And so when I'm on there and I'm kind of like, you know, interacting with people and just kind of clicking around and finding cool people to follow and stuff, what I've seen is that there's a lot of younger people, like 18, 19, that are into energy and the law of attraction and good vibes and living a positive life and all that kind of stuff, living a healthy lifestyle. So to me, I'm just like, wow, that's so cool, because if I were to have gotten all this at such a young age like that, I can't even imagine where I would be right now in my life, you know? So I think that we're starting to wake up at a much younger age, through all these different tools that we have, like social media, because, you know, people are sharing all this kind of information. And so just we are exposed to all this is helping us to awaken much more quickly, I feel like. Do you feel like that with social media and spirituality and awakening?
Oh, absolutely. Like everything you just said, completely. As far as people being able to connect to different countries and just find out about things in seconds as opposed to like maybe days or weeks. And just it's almost as if like we get to speak a connected language. Even though we disagree with each other at times, I really do resonate with that. And I think it's heartwarming that younger children are awakening to this, because I like the saying how the youth is the fire and the elderly are the pillar. So, I mean, I could totally see that leading into some very radical, revolutionary times, especially when Pluto enters your sign in Aquarius. That's definitely going to be very gnarly. I can see that.
Yes. Yeah. And you know, another thing that I feel like is starting to happen, I mean, whether or not people are conscious of it, is that we are activating some major key parts of our human bodies that are going to start helping to change the world, which is the heart and the pineal gland, you know. And so they're starting to find out that the heart is more than just this organ that pumps your blood. The heart actually thinks and feels and transmits information to the brain, and it actually has this huge magnetic that reaches, you know, magnetic field that reaches out even further than your own body, the human biofield. So that's very interesting to me, something that I've been studying and really tapping into those heart vibrations. If you follow any of my meditations, you'll notice I focus there in the heart center a lot. I like to bring people there first and have them tap into that energy there, and then we go on to move on to the rest of the meditation, because I feel like when we're centered in the heart, you know, that's really the place where everything begins, is that channel universal love. And that's, I believe, where the universe lives within us. And if you think about it, the heartbeat is the first thing to develop when in a fetus. Like, it's the very first type of movement, and the first thing to develop is like the beating of the heart. So that to me says something. And so I feel like our hearts are really ready to awaken and speak out and start being the leader and the guide, you know. And so we're going to see that shift. Like, instead of being led by the mind and the ego, we're all going to be starting being led by the heart, which is amazing.
Amazing and equally scary in a great way.
Yes, I'm not scared, because I know that the hearts are so wise and intelligent, and we can trust it, you know. And even that communication, like, for example, you and I, even though we're communicating over through the computer, we're sitting here face to face, and so our hearts are connecting, you know, and we're communicating in a non-physical way. So I mean, as soon as people learn how to tap into that, we're going to be able to gather so much more non-physical information about other people, and that's going to help us really tune into, you know, our surroundings, making better decisions, and picking up on all that stuff, you know, that's going on that you can't see with your eyes. So.
Wow, that's so true. I know all the issues that I have in my life, other than impatience, come from not being able to connect with my heart, because I always like try and default with my mind, suppress my heart's urges, or just misinterpret what it's trying to feel. So that again, that's very like reassuring to hear. Knowing that the heart transfers information and has a big force field, I never knew that. Like, I never even thought. It makes sense, but wow, like that's very that this just blew my mind today. Again, with especially.
And here's another book that I want to share with you guys. It's called The Field. This is by Lynn McTaggart here. This book is not an easy read. I just want to warn you guys. It's very scientific. because she's, she's a scientist and stuff. So it's got a lot of scientific studies, a lot of really like intense information, but teaches is all about this infinite sea of consciousness in which we all exist, and then our own human biofield and our energy field of our heart, and how they all like coexist, and we're constantly reading information from the field and picking up on that. We just don't know it yet. And yes, like you said, the heart is the first thing to gather information, and then it transmits it to the brain, which we never knew before. We always thought the brain was the transmitter of information, but it's not. It's the heart. So that tells you how important it is to start tapping into your heart first, And just like with the Reiki and everything else, the more you do it, the easier it gets. And then, the stronger your connection will get, and your intuition and your heart's intelligence. So it's something that you should definitely start to practice.
Wow, that just everything just came full circle now. Yeah, it's definitely worth it. Wow. This is why I love Aquarius. Like, you all knowledge all the time, without fail.
Yeah.
Let's play a short game. We're gonna take turns asking each other questions, and we'll ask each other 3 questions, and you can start first. So you'll ask the question, I'll answer it, and then I'll ask the question, and then you'll answer it, and then you'll ask the question, and then we'll do it like 3 times.
Okay. So are you asking a question first, or am I?
I'm sorry, no, you ask first. You ask first.
So I'm gonna ask you any question I want?
Any question.
Okay, so how did you get into astrology?
Similar to with you and Reiki, astrology honestly called me. I was literally in the middle of a Jupiter transit. Jupiter was transiting my first house, and I was looking for answers. I had grown up Christian all my life, and I decided to take it seriously. I wanted to live for Jesus and not be a lukewarm Christian anymore. And then I realized that I don't think I could really accept what I was taught about Christianity. And this had me really looking for answers. And I started listening to horoscopes, which I grew up thinking was of the devil. And I don't know how I started watching Soul Garden and Christopher Witecki. From Christopher Witecki, I saw the Leo King before he really was a Leo King and was just doing horoscopes. From when I got on Soul Garden, I got readings from both Chris Witecki and the Leo King that changed my life, blew my mind, and it opened my mind up to the possibilities of astrology and how accurate it was, and I've been on this journey ever since. And yeah,
cool. That's amazing.
Yeah, it definitely reminds me, nothing is random, nothing is coincidental. All right, my question for you.
Your passion and purpose. Your passion and purpose.
My passion and what?
Astrology is your passion and purpose.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
That's what really exactly, like I for the first time in my entire life, I felt like I actually had a legit purpose in life and passion I can follow. You're definitely right.
Yeah. That's how I feel. Honestly, I really truly believe every person, every human being on this earth has a passion and purpose, something very meaningful, not just something small, something huge, like bigger than they can even imagine. And so that's what we need to find. So that's why I said, when I have no tolerance for people who don't have a passion and purpose, it's like, because I know that each one of us is here for something. That's what I want. I want everyone to go big, I don't want anyone playing small. So I love meeting people like you that have found it, and that are actually living it. That excites me. Can you see me okay?
Yeah, I can see. No,
okay.
I can see you and hear you perfectly.
Okay, great.
I guess my
Starting to get
question for you would be, what kind of what are your 3 favorite zodiac signs, and then what are the 3 zodiac signs that give you the most challenge?
Oh, okay. This is great. um, okay. So, well, of course, I love Aquarius. You know, and maybe I'm biased because that's my own sign, but not really though, because I love the Aquarius mind. You know, I love how they're all so different and unique, and just not afraid to be out there and be different and unique. You know, and just kind of being the leaders in that way. Um, Great conversation. You know, so that's it's going to be guaranteed with an Aquarius. I love Libras for that same reason. See, air signs are great for me because I like to talk. I like to have intellectual conversation, and about something cool. And so when I'm around other air signs, we are so chatty, so it's like always great conversation, and it gives my mind like something to do, because like Geminis and Aquarius and Libra, we have that mind that's always going. So to us. So I have more than just 3, but I love all the air signs: Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, of course. And then I like Leos. I love Leos because they're so fiery and confident, bold, and they just have a really great deep sense of self-love, and I admire that. That's just something that stands out to me. And I've always said, like, in my next life, I would love to be a Leo. I love being friends with Leos. I like being around them and their energy. They're so fun. So, so yeah, I would say Aquarius, Libras, and Leos are for me. So those tend to be my favorites. But I also get along really well with Scorpius. So I haven't been able to figure that one out yet, but it just so happens. And then the signs that have given me the most challenge have been the earth signs. So Capricorn, Virgo, and Taurus, So it's just, I don't know about, they're very heavy for me. I can feel it when I get around them, that dense earth energy, because I feel energy so intensely. So it's like the different energies. I guess water and earth is a little more difficult for me to be around air and the fire, because it's a different feeling. Air is light and buoyant and bouncy and fun, and fire is like that roary, like, confident, out there, brave, bold, and I like that feeling. But like water, they're very emotional, and then earth is so dense and heavy, so it's like, when I'm around them, I feel it, because that's me being like the energy healer. I feel the energy so intensely. So yeah, I've noticed that Virgos are they're very challenging people to get along with, and definitely Taurus. Like I like a lot of things about Taurus. I like how they love and appreciate beauty and their appearance, and they like the finer things in life and stuff like that. I mean, I get that, but they're just yeah, I guess because of the way I can feel energy so intensely. So yeah.
This is amazing because this is the 29th episode, and every time I ask this question, I think it's only one episode, but basically every episode, everyone puts Virgo as one of the 3 signs they have a challenge with. I know, right?
Isn't it funny? Oh my gosh, yes, Virgo. I know.
It's silly. It's hilarious.
And I always ask people what their sign is, and every time I hear Virgo, I'm like, like, oh no, okay, great, here we go.
That's awesome.
Okay, so what about you? So what are your 3 favorite, and then your 3 most challenging?
Oh, is that okay? So that's your question for me.
Turn on the light really quick.
All right.
There we go. And back.
True to Gemini fashion, it changes a lot. All right. what for now, what I can definitely say, my three favorite, I'm like you, I have way more than three. Like I have a fascination.
Yeah.
I mean, being an astrologer, I have a fascination with all the sides. But I will say, as far as the challenges is first, I think Scorpio, I have a deep love for Scorpio, but they are very challenging. Scorpio and Capricorn, I could be very obsessed with Capricorn, but Capricorn can be very challenging because given my Gemini nature, it's like they force me to step up and be that man and not just live in the realm of ideas and actually take action and make concrete. But at the same time, they're challenging because they can be a little bit too serious for my taste.
Yes, they are so serious.
Yeah, and it's good. I mean, I have a Capricorn moon, so I understand it, but it's just really, it's not like Libra. It's not like Aquarius, who understands being serious but still being light and playful and understanding
Right.
the joy of life. And then I guess for a third challenge, I don't even want to. I almost want to throw Virgo into the top three I love, only because they're my fifth house. But I'm gonna put them in the challenging spot too, only because doesn't. Virgo is challenging in a sense where they will not let you settle for less. Like they want to push you to be the best you can, and I deeply respect that. I think that's really cool. Thankfully, it's in my fifth house of like love and creativity, so I end up finding that energy funny and fun to be around. But yeah, as far as like the three that I love, for sure, I used to actually, I don't know why Sagittarius was very annoying to me, but I really love Sagittarius now. Like Sagittarius has this like quirkiness. They could be very wise, but they could belie the wisdom that they have because they would just rather much be playful and joyful, and they really do embody that joy of God and the universe that exists. So I would say Sagittarius. Consistently in my life, Aries have definitely been a spark of joy, but I've noticed recently Pisces. I'm going to put Pisces on that list because Pisces recently reminds me that magic is real. And I really needed that right now. Every time I talk to a Pisces, I'm able to talk to them about very deep things. Well, not deep like Scorpio deep, but just, you know, certain things I believe in magic that I never talked to about anyone else because they wouldn't know how to take it. But with them, it's like, oh yeah, of course it's real. I experienced it the other day. It's like, wow.
Yeah, it's that imagination. Yeah, definitely. A really good friend who's a Pisces, and she's super fun. Yeah, and then what was the other sign that you touched on too? Oh, Sagittarius. When you were talking about Sagittarius, that's one sign I don't have a lot of experience with. I don't have a lot of experience in interaction with them. I've never dated a Sagittarius, and I don't have a lot of Sagittarius friends. So I actually have just said, like, I really want to meet a Sagittarius soon so that I can kind of get to know this sign and experience that, you know? So it's funny that you say that. That makes me even more curious and interested.
I'm honestly in the same boat. Like the most experience I've had with Sagittarius is really just a casual friend. Like nothing necessarily deep and in depth. Like I know there's a potential to experience that, but I've never really dated them. I've just at most had like casual friendships, which keys me into how they could be annoying. But I know there's this, since they're my opposite sign, like I know there's this reflection that exists that I want to experience so much. And then of course, Leo and Aquarius, like whenever I'm around one of them, it's just always gravy. I don't know one Aquarius or Leo that I ever hated or been rubbed the wrong way. Like it's just always amazing. And I recognize their place in this universe and I'm just honored. that we get to be
Yeah.
a part of the show.
That's good. That's awesome. And you should definitely set the intention, like send the intention out to connect with Sagittarius so that can happen. Since they're your opposite sign, I think you would experience a lot of like magic and connection, because I actually just did that, and that's how I met David Palmer, the Leo King. It's so funny because I know that Leos are my opposite sign. I've always loved Leos, and so and one of my best friends is a Leo, but he lives quite far away from me. So I was like, you know what, I want to meet a Leo. I want to connect with a Leo. And I kind of set that intention and send it out to the universe. And literally like 2 days later, the Leo King like contacted me, and he had seen some of my videos and stuff. And so he was like, hey, what's up? You know, we started chatting and we developed a friendship, and he's so awesome and so fun. We've got to hang out a couple times, and we get along with Leos really well. But yeah, so it's actually pretty cool making that connection with your opposite sign. So you should do that, because when you set the intention and you ask, the universe will definitely deliver. So you will end up meeting Sagittarius pretty quickly, depending on how quick you manifest. I know I manifest really quickly, so it happened like within a couple days. And it's funny because I was like, wow, I wanted to manifest meeting a Leo, and the universe sent me the Leo King.
Right?
So I was like, okay.
my favorite Leo ever. Like, that's amazing. He's very...
Yes, he's so fun, and he's double Leo. So, you know, there you go.
With the Taurus moon to ground, too. I love it.
Yeah.
My second question, is it the second question? Yeah, my second question for you. So far you have one more to ask me, and I have two more to ask you. So my second question for you is, what do you think will happen if Donald Trump wins the election? How do you feel that will change things?
Wow. You know, I have mixed feelings on it. Do you know, what is his sign anyway? Do you know his sign?
Donald Trump has the most boss chart. He's a Gemini with a Sagittarius moon. He has his sun on his north node, and his Jupiter in Libra. I was mind blown when I saw his chart. I was like, wow, no wonder he's got this far.
Well, you know, I mean, I think of course a lot of people are going to just be extremely pissed if he gets elected. So there's that. But entrepreneur and running a business, I feel like he could do a very good job as far as because he has that business and entrepreneur mind, and he has a lot of experience with that and being a leader, and he's very confident. And so I see a lot of qualities in him that could potentially make for a good president. I feel like it's the thing where I try to feel him out energetically. Lack of compassion. I feel like that is in there somewhere hidden, and he just tries to kind of like egotistical show, but it works for him, you know. And I think that's kind of like what's him so far. Like it pisses people off, but at the same time, people like it. So yeah, he's very interesting. I don't really know what will happen if he gets elected, though, because of everything that I've always seen. It's like, you know, that they always say they're going to do one thing and then they don't do it once they get elected and stuff. So that's all just kind of up in the air. But I kind of feel like it could be a good thing. And I'm just going by the energy, though, not really like looking at him in particular with his past or him as a person or anything that he's done. Just the feel that I get from it, I feel like he really could lead this country in a new direction. So that's just me picking up energetically. How do you feel about it?
I'm glad you asked, because I've been kind of feeling the same way. I personally wouldn't vote for him, but despite all the negativity, I personally feel like if he did get elected president, it wouldn't necessarily be as bad as people expected it to. I feel like I at some level feel like America needs Donald Trump, because it's going to inspire people to actually be more active and voice their dislike for the way politics are, or at least voice some kind of more activism to be like, wow, we joked about Donald Trump getting elected. Now he actually is president.
Yeah.
We need to be more active. And then on top of that, I feel like Donald Trump would actually inadvertently expose corrupt government activity just by his nature. Not even because he's trying to be like a hero, but just because, you know, there's a certain element of good that maybe the universe would use him for, even if he had bad intentions. And so,
right.
So I totally resonate with your feeling. I think it's more than spot on, to be honest. I mean, I really hope whoever wins is the best. I almost feel weird saying that, but yeah, it's definitely
it's definitely interesting election. It's coming down to Hillary and Trump. It's definitely interesting. I mean, with everything that Hillary's done in the recent past, it just kind of worries me, because for me, my main thing is I look up to and I respect honest, open people that have integrity and, you know, are always wanting to do the right thing. So that kind of bugged me about everything that went down with her. I can't lie, you know, but then of course, I mean, people say Trump's done all this stuff too. So, you know, I don't know. What goes? Like, I mean, of course they both wouldn't be my first choice, but like, I'm interested to see how it plays out. You know, I'm kind of just like observing right now and seeing what happens, how it all goes down.
Definitely. Well, I guess to close, for the last question, and just to close the episode, what advice do you have? I mean, you've already given like amazing advice, but what advice do you have for people who are awakening? Someone watching this right now who's awakening to their path. What words do you have to say for them for encouragement?
Please don't be afraid to be yourself and to explore and learn. And, you know, when I first had my spiritual awakening, I was so nervous to tell what was going on with me or to act a certain way around people who I thought didn't understand. And it took me a really long time to get to a place where I was like, you know what, I'm going to just be me, and I don't care if people get it. I don't care if people understand. You know, so now I'm out on YouTube and Instagram and everything, and I'm playing my singing bowls and I'm using my tuning forks, and it's like the thought comes in my mind sometimes, like, well, people see this, they have no idea what I'm doing. They're probably going to think I'm some freaking weirdo. But you know what? You can't let that stop you. Like, and that all goes back to passion and purpose. Like, have your spiritual awakening and it sets your soul on fire and you say, this is it for me. You can't allow any outside influences to scare you or to take that away from you or to hold you back, you know? So just allow this to happen. Be yourself, step out, and then find your tribe. Find people who are like you that will support you so that you can see that, you know, this whole way of life isn't so different after all. There's actually a lot of people that live this way. You just have to find them, you know? So don't be afraid, I think, is what I would say. That's my advice.
Perfect advice, and a great way to end the episode. Don't be afraid, people. How can people reach you if they want to talk to you or get a Reiki healing from you?
Okay, so right now I'm actually in the middle of rebranding. So I was a little bit hesitant to do this with you because I was like, well, I haven't gotten all my new stuff going yet, because I just kind of had like this whole, like, the universe rerouted my life like just recently. So I had a YouTube channel, it was hacked and deleted, and that was just crazy. But then I was like, well, that's okay, because maybe, you know, I'm supposed to take a different direction. And I was focusing more on like energy, like healing, doing my weekly energy forecasts and stuff. And then I started to see that I need to be focusing more on like the sound healing with the tuning forks and the singing bowls that I talked about. So I'm on Instagram right now as Vibe with Shannon. That's my main gig where you can reach me, and anybody can send me a DM on there too. And then I'm in the process, I'll be having my website and a new YouTube channel under the same name, Vibe with Shannon. That's going to be going up within the next couple of weeks. So for right now, Instagram is Vibe with Shannon. and that's still going strong. And then I'm on Facebook, facebook.com/I am Shannon Terry. So that's where you guys can find me. And so to book a session, we could do like a Skype session or FaceTime session. They can send me a message through either Facebook or Instagram until I can get my new YouTube channel and my new website up and running. And that will be Vibe with Shannon. I'm really excited about that. And it actually really resonates with me more so than what I had going on before. So I know that this was like all meant to happen, you know?
Gotta love synchronicities. Amen.
Yes, I know.
Well, thanks once again for joining me. Really, really, really grateful. And thanks one and all for tuning in. Until next episode.